As a founder, I find it incredibly difficult to find time to create content. I have so many other high-level tasks and important things on my plate that when it comes to content creation, my mental bandwidth has already been used up. I find it really difficult to be creative. So I discovered Chat GPT and I wanted to see if the tool could be used to help me in my content creation process. So in this video, I'll show you 3 ways that I've discovered that you can use Chat GPT in your content creation process. Again, as a founder, I know the importance of spending your time on high-level tasks and not the tasks that don't generate revenue or don't move your business forward. Focusing on those high-level tasks has allowed me to build this second business of my own to $1 million a year in revenue within a year. Now, I know that I can focus on these high-level tasks, but then content creation suffers. I need to focus on those high-level tasks, but again, content still needs to be created. So in this video, I'll be covering how you can eliminate 99% of your content creation process using ChatGPT. So let's get started. All right, so once you've logged into ChatGPT, it's really easy to log in. You just use your Gmail login or just easily sign up. You will have to put in a phone number to verify that you are who you are. So once we're in ChatGPT, let's do an example of write a blog article for avoiding burnout in a startup, and we'll see what it comes up with. So now it'll start typing and we'll wait until it's done. Okay, so ChatGPT finished up. It actually already renamed my chat right there, avoiding burnout in startups. And we have a solid blog article. And so the beauty of ChatGPT is that now I'm not working with a blank page. I gave a very basic prompt, avoiding burnout in a startup. And now I can go in with my personal experiences, my personal knowledge, wisdom, and knowing who my audience is. I can now, copy and paste this into a Google Doc and start editing it. So maybe I want to take out prioritize tasks, or maybe I want to combine these 2 points, or maybe I want to get rid of this point or add a new point. There's so many, it's endlessly customizable because now I'm not starting with a blank page. I have this template basically. Here's a template article about avoiding burnout in a startup. And so the beauty of ChatGPT is giving you content that is, hopefully 99% of the way there. So there are other things that we can do to refine what ChatGPT puts out, and then even a kind of supplementary material as well. So let's say write a title for that blog article, and let's see what it gives us. 5 tips for avoiding burnout in a startup. Great, that's awesome. Give a summary for that blog article. And so now hopefully it'll just give us a brief description of what the blog article is about. So now we can post that into a social media post with a link to the full actual blog article. And so it gives us this blog article provides tips for avoiding burnout in a startup, including these 5 points. By following these tips, startup employees can manage their workload more effectively and maintain their physical and mental health. Beautiful. So now I have a title, now I have a description, and now I have the full blog article again, which I can edit each one of these, but it's giving me some great ideas to start with. And you can even have it, ideate for you, give you ideas. So we could say, write 10 titles for that blog article. And so now we can choose between these 10 titles or use, a part of this title and a part of this title, and we'll see what it comes up with in just a second. Great. So now we have 10 ideas or different titles for that blog article. 5 simple strategies for managing burnout in a startup. I think that's probably the best one, but you can use any of these, right? That's the beauty of ChatGPT. So you can also refine the blog article. You can always add additional criteria. You could even do, write a 300-word blog article about avoiding burnout, and it will do that for you. So I've noticed it doesn't keep exactly to 300 words. It'll be like 320 words, but it's pretty close. And, you can continue to refine the queries and it will just continue to put out a more and more polished output, which of course, then you can finish that 1% of effort, really personalize it for your audience and to put it in your voice and to put in your own personal experiences. The second way that we can use Chat GPT in our content creation strategy is for newsletters. So write a newsletter about delegation and automation. All right, so now ChatGPT has given us a rough template of a newsletter about delegation and automation. You can see it's in the rough structure of a newsletter. Again, I wouldn't send this right away, but I would put in my own personal experiences. I would structure it maybe a little bit differently, put in, 3 points, which you could probably also tell ChatGPT to do for you. Just, come up with 3 of your top tips when it comes to delegation and automation. So let's see, what other, queries can we give GPT about writing a newsletter, we could say instead of write a newsletter about delegation and automation, we could say instead maybe something a little bit more complicated. So write a newsletter about what happens when a company hits a growth wall, and we'll see if it comes up with anything good for that. All right, great. So ChatGPT has given us a solid newsletter about what happens when a company hits a growth wall. Assess the cause of the growth slowdown. When you hit a growth wall, your company's growth begins to slow or just plateau completely. And so that could mean that you need to invest in marketing and sales. You need to increase the amount of new customers coming in, or you can decrease churn. So, assess the cause of the growth slowdown, extremely important. So I would structure this differently and I would introduce concepts a little bit differently, but it's a great starting point for a newsletter about what happens when a company hits a growth wall. Now, the third point or the third way that ChatGPT can help us when it comes to creating content is for our social media. So, if I want to post daily on LinkedIn, which I have been doing for about a year, it does get exhausting after a while of constantly coming up with new topics, new ideas, and new posts. So, again, let's ask ChatGPT how it can help us with that. Ideas for a LinkedIn post directed towards startup founders, and let's see what it comes up with. All right, great. So now we have 5 ideas of different posts I could make on LinkedIn about directed towards startup founders. 5 lessons I've learned as a startup founder, the importance of mentorship for founders, the role of failure in the startup journey, the benefits of diversity and inclusion in startup teams, and the power of networking for startup founders. And I could even say, let's say I'm not happy with those first ideas or I've already used them, generate 5 more ideas. All right, great. So now it's coming up with 5 more ideas, which are all solid ideas that I would use for a LinkedIn post. Now let's get started on our next query, which would be, let's say, write a script for a TikTok video directed towards startup founders, shot list, include in table format. Let's see what that comes up with. All right, so I am continually impressed by what ChatGPT can come up with. We've got at the very beginning a shot list. It's not in table format, but that's fine. So it's got these 8 different shots that we should include in the TikTok video. And now it goes down into the script. And these are all the things that I should be saying. And then look, right here it includes, okay, now move to shot 2, which we can see, what that is, a shot of a person sitting at a desk, typing on a laptop and looking focused. And then it says, go to shot 3, shot 4, shot 5. So it's really cool to see how it's structured this script. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that would say, okay, those shots suck or, that script isn't great. But it gives me a starting point. Now I know, okay, yeah, I don't want that in that shot, but now I have a better idea of what I do want in that shot or, the rough structure for this TikTok video. And so all of these different things, as I've been saying throughout the video, it's just so helpful to start with not a blank page and start with some rough structure of how it could look. And then you can know really quickly what you do want it to look like and what does work in what ChatGPT has given you and what doesn't work. So it's very easy for you to add and take away what ChatGPT has given you and condense it down into something that will actually be successful and that will actually be presentable for your audience. Now, this isn't perfect, but it's much better than any other AI tool that I've used in generating content, paid or free. And it's easy to refine the content that ChatGPT puts out, and it's really easy to just add in your own personal experiences, your own personal wisdom, and of course make sure that everything sounds like it's coming from you, that it has your voice. So if you're a business owner in need of content, go use ChatGPT, especially while it's still free, and pump out as much content as you can. You can always refine it later. Follow me here on YouTube if you want to learn more about startup systems and how to systematize your business. I want to help founders win back their time through automation and delegation.